There's a ton of things wrong with it. It's not natural. You're going to get diseases. I think it's a poor example to set to people. I don't think it's a family dynamic. You can't have kids. They're not going to be able to hold in their poop. Like literally, not.
You think that God is okay with you practicing sodomy with other men?
The sodomy that was written about in the Bible has nothing to do with loving queer and trans relationships.
Tradition isn't about a time in history. It's about constants and values.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. When's the last time you shit your pants? I don't know. Think about it. I'll tell you guys the last time I shit my pants, but you got to stick around to find out. Welcome back to my channel where we react to online discourse from a moderate perspective. My name is Clark or Clarkson, and today we are talking about a few videos and talking points that have gone viral from creators who have a certain religious leaning. And these talking points I thought were debunked in like the 1980s, but they're coming back because as gay sentiment was on a positive path forward throughout, I would say like 2016 to like 2022, it's starting to decline again. And now these Christian influencers are bringing back the talking points that are just so abhorrently wrong. We just have to talk about them. We have to talk about them. So first off, if you wear a diaper, I don't mean for this video to be offensive to you. I know that some people do have to wear a diaper, specifically women after they give birth sometimes. And I'm not judging you for that. I just don't want to wear a diaper, and I don't think anyone prefers to wear an adult diaper. If this makes no sense, you'll get it soon. But first, let's go ahead and watch this Christian podcaster who decided to share his opinions on why being gay is wrong, and we'll debunk this video first.
I was with Adam22 yesterday, and he asked me the same thing. Like, what's wrong with two consenting adults that love the same sex?
I American flag Jesus on his shirt. You American flag Jesus. All right, this is gonna be a peak level of intellect, and no shade to people who love Jesus. I mean, I'm sure if Jesus was alive right now, I'd love him too. He seemed like a really nice guy. Let's just watch the video.
I was with Adam22 yesterday, and he asked me the same thing. Like, what's wrong with two consenting adults that love the same sex? And there's a ton of things wrong with it. It's not natural. You're gonna get diseases. I think it's a poor example to set to people. I don't think it's a family dynamic. You can't have kids. And also, like, if you've got two dudes marrying each other and they want to be intimate 20 years from now, they're not gonna be able to hold in their poop. Like literally, I'm not even kidding. It's a legitimate scientific thing. They can't hold their bowels.
It's a legitimate scientific thing. All right, so let's debunk this video very quickly. I have receipts, and we're not gonna spend too much time on it, but I just find it so crazy that these are the talking points that are coming back. Like, they clearly didn't work before, so you'd think that the anti-gay people would be a little bit more creative, but they're clearly running out of arguments against gay people. So let's just debunk these very quickly. His first claim is this.
It's not natural.
So his first claim is that it is not natural to be gay. Now, the first thing I wanna talk about when it comes to people who say, well, it's not natural, we shouldn't do it because it's not natural.
Sure, Jan.
This is an appeal to nature fallacy, and I'm going to explain what that means. And in debate, this is the last thing you want to do because it shows that you have no idea what you're talking about and you're incapable of logical reasoning. So the definition of natural is existing in, determined by, conforming to, or based in nature. The claim that he's making is that being gay is not natural. Homosexual behavior exists in over 1,500 different species. It's not just humans. So if by the definition of natural is existing or present by nature, by definition, being gay is natural. It doesn't even matter if being gay is natural because everything that is natural is not good. So even though being gay is natural, I would never argue and say, well, being gay is natural, therefore it should be accepted. Because many things are natural that we don't accept. Diseases, animals each other. There's so many different horrific things that are in nature because nature is not all like airy-fairy, God made it and everything exists in peace. No, nature is actually horrific. It's gruesome. There's bad things in nature. So I would never approach an argument saying, well, it's in nature, therefore it's good. So that is what we call an appeal to nature fallacy. And the definition of this is an informal logical fallacy that occurs when someone argues that something is inherently good or right simply because it is natural, or bad and wrong simply because it is unnatural. Antibiotics are unnatural by nature, but they are not bad or wrong. If I wasn't taking antibiotics because of what happened to my stomach earlier this year when I got that infection from an injection, I would be dead because I had a certain type of bacteria that would not go away without antibiotics. So I'm of the belief that not everything that is natural is good, just in my experience. But even with that belief, being gay is natural. Now let's move on to his next claim.
You're gonna get diseases.
So first of all, diseases are natural. So I don't know why he has a problem with diseases because apparently everything that's natural is good.
Fucking idiot.
So clearly his arguments are not making any sense. What he's trying to say is that gay men are at higher risk for STDs, which is true. But we have to dig a little bit deeper to fully understand why that is. Is it because being gay is wrong? Or is it because gay men are men and they engage in sex with multiple partners more often than straight couples because they are men. Straight couples can get diseases if they're not in a monogamous relationship, but gay couples in a monogamous relationship like myself can't get STDs unless one of us cheats. Now, I would never cheat, so I'm at no risk for an STD unless my partner cheats on me. So the issue is not that being gay will give you diseases. The issue is that having multiple sexual partners will.
And that's the truth.
So that point is debunked. Let's move on to his next one.
I think it's a poor example to set to people. I don't think it's a family dynamic. You can't have kids.
So it's a poor family dynamic. You can't have kids. Now, gay people can have kids. They just might not have them in the way that straight people do. You can go through surrogacy. You could also get a woman pregnant and co-parent with them without using surrogacy if you do it another way. There's tons of different ways that gay people can have kids nowadays with technological advancements. But what he's saying is that gay people can't have kids just by having sex, which is true. But gay families do exist. They happen through surrogacy, through adoption, etc. And his claim is that it's not a good example to set for children. But we have data to prove that wrong. Cornell did a bunch of research on gay parents and the well-being of children who are the product of gay parents. In this article, they identified 79 studies that studied children with gay parents. And of those studies, 75 concluded that children of gay or lesbian parents fare no worse than other children. And I would argue that if you are the child of gay parents, specifically from birth and maybe even from surrogacy, you most likely will have not just equal but better outcomes because gay parents tend to make more money. And we know that growing up without money and growing up in a hard socioeconomic position contributes to poor outcomes among children. I would take a guess that these kids are actually in better positions, but 75 of the 79 studies concluded that they were in equal, if not better, positions. Now, you may be asking, what about those other 4 studies that said that gay children ended up worse than the other children? And there's a reason why those studies showed that, and that is because those studies included same-sex parents who became gay parents after a divorce. So meaning the child that was in the study grew up with straight parents and one of them came out and then had another parent. That child is the product of an unhealthy situation because of divorce.
Divorce, babe, divorce.
We know that divorce is hard on children. That's been widely studied. Splitting of the families, all of that, that's very hard on children. So those 4 studies that said that gay parents are harmful really were just proving that divorce and separation is harmful. And they make more of a case that we should have a society that is open and accepting of gay parents so gay people don't feel like they need to marry the opposite sex and create those dysfunctional family environments that happened in those 4 studies. But if you are a child of gay parents from birth, the studies show that there are no differences in outcomes comparatively to straight parents. Now let's move on to his final claim, which is my favorite one, and you'll know why I was talking about diapers in the beginning.
If you've got 2 dudes marrying each other and they want to be intimate 20 years from now, they're not going to be able to hold in their poop. Like literally, I'm not even kidding. It's a legitimate scientific thing. They can't hold their bowels.
Anybody who says a legitimate scientific thing, they most likely have not read the scientific thing, also meaning the study that they are referring to. Because in the study that he's referring to, there is one, and he's not the only creator who has said this, that gay people just walk around in their pants. This is the actual study. It studied men and women who partake in anal intercourse and how it can impact bowel function. Now, if you actually read the study, podcast bro who American flags Jesus, the authors wrote, the results don't prove anal sex causes incontinence. They also lacked data on the frequency of anal sex, which might influence the results. Now look, if you are shoving a milk bottle up there, that's gonna mess you up.
I put a whole
Milk bottle
up my ass.
Anal sex in just a regular form, clearly by these studies, doesn't prove that it causes incontinence, okay? So this is literally just misinformation that this guy is using. The thing is even if it did, why are you so worried about gay people's buttholes? Anyways, now I posted a video about this on my Instagram debunking his points, and a lot of Christians got in my comment section because they tend to be easily offended over my content because I really don't play favorites when it comes to religion or identity. I will equally criticize everybody if their opinions don't make any logical sense. And they're like, why are you attacking him? He's speaking from his faith. He's speaking from his faith. I'm like, no, he's not. He's speaking about scientific research incorrectly. He's speaking about reality incorrectly. And unfortunately, when you only speak from your faith and you only speak from a book that was written thousands of years ago and you don't have the brain to interpret it and use it in everyday life with critical thinking, you're going to end up saying things that are not based in reality. And you can't hide behind your religion to say crazy shit like this. I'm sorry. I love Christians. I love people who are devoted to their religion. I think it brings a lot of people peace, and I love seeing that in people, and I do envy it. I envy people who could devote themselves to a specific set of beliefs because there's so much comfort in that. That is not an excuse to post things that are just blatantly false. But he's not the only person that does this. There's another influencer, Sarah Stock. Now, you may have seen her before, but she's been MIA for a bit, and we're going to talk about why. But if you saw her appearance on Jubilee, you're going to know that she used this same talking point. Let's watch.
So I'm assuming from everything you're telling me that you think that God is okay with you practicing sodomy with other men.
I am saying that God always acts in accordance with love, and the sodomy that was written about in the Bible has nothing to do with loving queer and trans relationships because there was no frame of reference for the phrases who created it. Man is imperfect, God's word is perfect, God would support queer and trans existence. Do you want to talk about why it's also anti-American?
You don't think that sodomy existed 2,000 years ago?
I do think it existed 2,000
And you
years
don't
ago,
think that God
and the way that it
directly
was written
addressed
about in the Bible was about hateful, unconsensual, like ritualistic acts.
I think that your definition of love is basically what feels good for you and
No.
also being nice to other people.
I think love is more complicated than that. For example, you can have a sexual relationship with someone that you might not love, whereas love is a deeper emotion of care.
But basically it's just like this like fluffy feeling of like, oh, like I like you, I'm treating you well, whatever. I think that love is willing the good of another person.
Love is a hard
so
action.
you can have consensual sex with someone and that's not loving them because participating in homosexual acts is inherently not loving because it's damaging.
They're not inherently damaging.
It violates
They're not
natural
inherently
law.
damaging. It doesn't violate natural law. There are
Yes, it
over
does.
1,000
Your body
species
is
that
not
are
designed
proven
for
to
that.
have queer relationships.
God literally designed
Why does the
male
G-spot
and
exist?
I don't know. God literally designed
Let's
male and
not
female
pretend
bodies.
to know God's vision, then.
How about this?
Let's not pretend to know God's vision.
How
Let's
come
act with
12%
love.
of men who have sex with other men one or more times a week have problems where they are not able to control their bowel movements?
Because when you...
Well, why? If it's healthy.
When any homophobic person wants to start preaching anti-gay stuff, like her and this other guy, when they start to run out of arguments, they start with the appeal to nature fallacy. They'll say, well, it's not natural, it's not natural. And it's like, well, actually it is, but also everything that's natural isn't good, so why does that even matter? And then eventually when they run out of arguments, they go, well, you shit yourselves. And look, I have been in so many gay circles. I've been in the Wilton Manors gay circles with the older gays, and I promise you, if this was a problem in the gay community, there would be stand-up specials about it. There would be jokes about it. And at every bar, people would be talking about give the old bottoms their depends. Okay. And this is anecdotal, but I've never, ever met someone or heard of someone who shits their pants and can't control their butthole, especially even older gays. That's not, that's not a thing. And the studies prove it because the study she's referring to is the same one that other creator was referring to, where the authors literally said, this does not prove anal sex causes incontinence. Honestly, I haven't shit my pants since like middle school. The only time as an adult that I have accidentally like been like, oh, that wasn't a fart was like 6 months ago when I had a stomach bug and I was literally in bed for 3 days. I shouldn't be saying this, but I was in bed for 3 days and I was literally just like pooping water. So like, I don't think that's because I'm gay. I think it's because I had a stomach bug, but I guess to these creators, it's because I'm gay. All right. This is disgusting.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
But that's Sarah Stock. So that's another influencer, like Christian tradwife influencer, who is saying these talking points. But there's something interesting about Sarah Stock's story. Now, let's look at some other content that she does. This is her talking about being a tradwife.
It's weird how so many people get upset with the whole tradwife trend and try to say that you can't be a traditional wife or traditional woman if you're living in the modern era and if you're posting about it. Like if you have a cell phone, then you're automatically not traditional because we didn't have cell phones in the past. I don't think these people understand tradition isn't about a time in history. It's about constants and values that transcend history, that have stood the test of time.
I totally agree. We should follow tradition and follow the values that have stood the test of time. Do you know what's been a value that stood the test of time? Not sleeping with your boss while you're engaged. Sarah?
Having an affair with her boss who is living with a man who's still married.
Want to talk about that? How about being a virgin before marriage? That's a value that's been around for a while. Did you follow that? How about lying? Specifically to your partner about those things. That's not even a double homicide. That's a triple homicide. You lied and you f***ed and you f***ed again.
Yeah.
Triple
Homicide.
So, Sarah, I don't know. It's not really giving tradwife. Now, this is all allegedly, but let's watch this video that recaps her situation.
Imagine being a godly man, waiting till marriage to have sex, waiting for God to put the perfect woman in your life, a woman that's going to bring you closer to God, that's also going to honor her body and her purity as much as God calls her to. And then when it finally happens and this woman does appear in your life and you end up marrying her, it comes out that she was not only not a virgin like you thought when you first got married, but she was also cheating on you with her boss while you guys were waiting for marriage. And at the same time, she's crafting a tradwife Catholic persona online while encouraging other people to promote and uphold these values that she herself doesn't even uphold. This is devastating. It makes me sick. I pray for her husband.
Okay, that's enough. I don't know the creator who's stitching this, but I do know and remember this situation with Sarah Stock. This is always the storyline. The people who make it their whole careers to preach what is right and what is wrong, they always have skeletons in the closet. And part of this is just human nature. Nobody is perfect, right? And that's okay. And we're allowed to have values that we strive towards. I know that being healthy is something that we should strive towards, but I don't necessarily partake in the best behaviors all the time that contribute to my health. Hello? I still need to quit vaping.
I'm just kidding.
So I can say, objectively speaking, yeah, people probably shouldn't smoke and vape, and people shouldn't do things that are unhealthy. But I also have to recognize that I'm a hypocrite. And that's what's different here, is that Sarah has made, because now she's off of social media, and a lot of these Christian influencers, they make a whole persona telling everybody how to live, but they never actually look inward, and they're never honest with everybody else about how they have made mistakes. And that is truly the most powerful testimony, is being honest about how you made mistakes and sharing those rather than pointing the finger at other people. I believe there's a Bible verse about that. I always find it really interesting when these skeletons start to come out of the closet, no pun intended, because it's always 10 times worse than the claims that they are making. Like, she's sitting here saying that being gay is this terrible thing that we shouldn't engage in, which clearly is not true, is proven wrong in every aspect, both logically and morally. She's doing all of this while saying it. So I just think it's really interesting. It's really interesting how it always plays out. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think that I'm going to need to wear a diaper in 20 years? If so, what brand should I get? Maybe I'll make designer diapers for bottoms. But that's not me saying I'm a up or down or top bunk or bottom bunk. That's not your business. The only person whose business that is my boyfriend's. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and a thumbs up. You can hype it as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you guys next week.